Good morning, everyone. How are you? I hope you're enjoying your days. Today, we are going to learn some basic of C. Mainly, I would focus on strings and random numbers, how to generate random numbers, and we will build a simple game. And that game would make you remember what string is and even help you to play with your friends, even your sisters or siblings. And I'm pretty sure we are going to have fun learning all these. So let's get started. To build this game, stone, paper, scissors, and to start with, first we will import the libraries. Now these are the important libraries which we are going to use while building this game. As I have already told you in the previous videos, you can go and check it out. If you haven't seen yet, you are free to go and check out on Google more on these libraries and what it contains and what are its description formats. So there is one thing which you need to understand, that this is the basic format which might be common or which would be very useful to you while building any kind of project in C++. So we have created a variable time t and we have taken a time. This function can be used to know what time at the present is, and you can also use time in various ways in your project. So we have defined it, and later we'll come to know how we are going to use this. So now we are also taking a variable word which is of the string format, and the library include string is helping me to make that variable. So I've defined the variable. And now we will define our array. This is an array of choices which I have made, and as you know, our main characters are stone, paper and scissor this time. So I have kept it stone, paper and scissor. To have a better understanding of this, we can clear it by knowing how it works in the memory, how this is getting stored. There is a very simple understanding of memory. Let's define a char borrow and a string borrow. When you define a char borrow, memory thinks and take it as makes a space of one letter. And if you have defined something char and you try to write like hi or me, you are trying to put more things into the space which memory won't allow you to. So for that we have introduced or invented strings. And since I've defined this string borrow, string will make a array of space, means like a string is a cluster of characters, so it will make group of space, and that's the simple understanding for memory. When you define string, it knows that you are going to need more space and you have a collection of letters. And when you define char, the memory understands, or the compiler tells the memory that there is only a single space letter required. Let's get into the most exciting and important part, that is the main function, in which all the main things are there. That's why it is called the main function. Let's call it int main. If you use a void main, means you're not returning something, and if I'm using int main, means at the end of my function I have to return something, and I will return a 0. Now there's a very small request that you should pause the video for a moment and think what the logic can be, because now I'm going to write straightforward my logic, but I want to assure you that you can make logics on your own for the same thing, and I believe that your own logic will help you to move forward for building your own code. So I am creating an infinite loop for myself. Before putting into logic, I need you to understand just one thing. We are going to print this, and we want to see what is our output. And as I said, we have to return something, so I'm returning 0. So let's first compile our program. So I've compiled my program and let's run it. Now as you can see, the output is stone. So if I put inside the bracket 1, it is going to give me paper, and if I print it 2, it is going to give me scissor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play with these numbers 0, 1 and 2. So let's get back to where we were. Now we are going to write the logic. So now this is my logic, that I'm going to play with those index number, and it is going to give me the word which we defined here as a string. Now a basic formality that we have to put in our game is to ask the person, what is your choice? And I will put my choice, and I will write that this is my choice, simple. And also adding this, that if the chosen word which I'm taking as input means what the user is giving me, if that is equal to what the machine has thought or what we have made random thought, that is the word, if they both match, the game is over and we have to say that the person won. And if we can also ask him if we want to play the game once again or not. So we are asking the person to write yes to play or quit to continue. Now we also have to write logic for yes and quit. So the logic is this: if the person chooses yes, then we will continue the game. The continue will make it go again into the while loop. And if he chooses to quit, our user chooses to quit, then we write game over and we will break from our while loop. And now we are at the end of our game. But there is one trick which you need to understand, and that you'll understand by playing this game only. So don't go anywhere, just see what I'm doing. Okay, wait, we have got an error. So we forgot to define choose. That I'll do that here. So now we have defined our choose function. Let's go with first compiling it. So it's compiled and then running it. So I would put my first choice as stone. Okay, so paper. Okay, so scissor, stone, stone, and stone. Not yet stone. Okay, so yeah, I won. So game over, you won. And I have to write, do you want to play the game again? Write yes to play or quit to continue. So I would show you both. If I put yes, then the game starts again. Stone, paper, then again I'll put stone, stone, stone. Oh, my bad luck. Yeah, stone. Okay, and I'll also show you quit. So the game is quit. Thank you so much for watching. Have a very nice day, and I hope you please like and subscribe my videos so that I can make more and more interesting and fun video for you. With time, I believe that you will understand and you will learn more by making these type of fun games in C++. Just keep learning.